Hey YouTube, welcome back to Unix TCG, and today we will be going over even more spoilers for the Dragon Ball Super Fusion World Set 2 Blazing Aura. We have a lot of SRs, we have some SCRs, and just some game changers in general. So let's see if we can get this video over 100 likes. Real quick, I'd like to apologize to everybody for the outside of the channel stuff. I haven't streamed this weekend, and my Patreon article was a little late, but I just commentated the largest One Piece regional since Nationals. It was 10 rounds of best of one Swiss, followed by a cut to top 32, and that was 4 more rounds of best of 3. It was 20 total hours of this tournament, and yeah, it just wiped me out for the weekend. So I'll be getting on all of that, but for that being said, let's hop into these cards and talk about what makes them so good. All right, so we have a lot of interesting cards here. I think first we're going to start off with Zeno. And a lot of people who played Masters are looking at this card like, oh, but it's a 6-cost 10k power, okay? 10k combo power. It's got a 20,000 normal power. And on play, choose all cards in the battle areas other than this card and place them in the bottom of their decks in a random order. So, we got a lot of things to talk about. First and foremost, being a 10k combo power, this card will never be dead. You either use it or you combo it off. But the crazy thing about this is he resets any board position. This can be just devastating when the hands are already small. If everything has been put out on the board and you play Zeno for 6, you reset the board, there's only a couple cards left in hand, this could just cascade into a board winning position on your part. Now, being a 6 cost is hefty in blue, but at the same time, an effect like this cannot be a 4 cost simply. It's not quite what Zeno was in Masters, simply because in Masters you had such a, like, it also shuffled hands. It shuffled hands and boards, and you guys redrew 5 more cards. So you can't really take this into consideration as the same level of power that it used to before. However, it is crazy that you are able to reset a board. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, this is the way to get rid of Broly. But in most cases, by this time of the game, green generally is only sitting on their last bomb. So to play a Zeno, to tap out to play a Zeno just for you to get Broly'd again is potentially really, really scary. Not exactly the best. But I think the thing that you should also note for this card is that it gets rid of field cards. That's a huge thing. So Lab, wink wink nudge nudge, Lab may be a much more important card next set for green, and this card can get rid of it. Stage, not sure, but this card can still get rid of it. So this card is just definitely able to touch things that aren't normally able to be touched. It's a 10k, so at very minimum you can just use it for combo, and then on top of that, once you wipe the entire board, it goes neutral with leader on a swing. So this card, I would keep an eye on it. I think blue needs a little bit more for me to auto lock it into running. I'm still hoping on a bottom deck anything card, but I think this is a stellar card. I think this can just do a lot of cool things. Next, we're going to talk about Android 17 and 18. Oof, doozy. 4 cost, 20k power, 10k combo power. What is this stat line? On play, place 2 cards from your energy into your drop, and if your leader is an Android 17, add up 3 cards with Android from their special traits from your drop to your energy. So the cool thing here is a ramp 1. All right, this is not only a ramp 1, but it almost completely revitalizes your turn. And there's a lot of weird things because this card is perfect on curve, but it also allows you to replay under curve cards or potentially play it off curve and have an even greater effect. And what I mean by this is, let's say you on turn 3 you play Lab, right? And you can't use it. Cool. You get up to 4 energy, you play this guy. You play these 2. You put 2 energy down, and then you play 3 Android cards on tap. And that requires the correct graveyard setup. Let us be mindful of that. But if you have it, you play these 3. You now have 3 open. You are able to do so many crazy things. You can now Lab to go into another one if you have 1 more Android card, but this is pushing it because this is early in the game to have 4 different Android cards just chilling in your drop. But you can potentially use Lab to ramp again. So now on turn 4, you have gone from 4 to 5 with this effect, and then up to 6 with Lab. That is a turning point. This is going to change how androids work for a very long time. And that's just a crazy part. Now, let's say you are running an even more rampy build where you are teching destructive strengths. You now have the ability to do some crazy things. And I don't want to make people like a little scared because this is kind of La La Land and we have to see how the deck lists work out. But you could play Lab on turn 3. After playing Lab on turn 3, you can play Android 17, 18 on turn 4. Then you can tap 3, or you can use Lab to go into a fourth, or another energy. So like I said, you go from 4 to 5 with this card to 6 with Lab. Then you can tap 3 for Destruction Strength and go up to 7, charging to 8. Going into your turn 5. This is one of the fastest ways to do it now, but it requires so many hoops that who knows, it may not even be good to do things like that. But you also have so many other cards that have synergy. If you play this off curve, if you have a 5Q, which technically androids never really needed to play because it just wasn't in their nature to need to send energy to drop, you can now have 5Q, and this automatically ramps 2 as well. If you went Lab to do that into this card to go up again into 5Q, and you just, the energy that you can have access to is crazy. So this card is going to be one of the most tested cards, I feel like, in green, because androids could very well become the dominant green deck simply because you have access to even more energy than ever before with good stat lines. So we have to keep an eye on that. But this card is searchable. This card is probably the best 4-drop ramp now, as long as you have the cards to do it. Androids might just become the aggressive green deck because you're going to be able to combo aggressively, combo defensively, play cards like this. We shall see, but this is one of my top I need to test cards. For sure, for sure, for sure. Let me know what you guys think about that one in the comments. Next, we have my guy, Gohan. Goheezy. Love this artwork. Can't wait to see whatever his alt art is because, you know, he's an SR, so that, you know, we already know what we're getting. I'm a stand for adult Gohan. But this is a 3-cost, 20k, 5k combo power. Permanent, your turn. If your leader is awakened, this card gains plus 5k power. So it's going to be a 25k when you bring it out. It can be brought out for free with the leader effect of Goku. It can be brought out for free with the battle card effect of the SR Kefla. And when attacking, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gains minus 15k power for the turn. So this minus effect is absolutely huge, pretty much straight up obliterating low B cards, and then also being able to soften up cards extremely for things. A card like this is absolutely wild because now you could, for 5 energy, well, it's just another 5 energy, it's another 5 energy play to get rid of things like 8-cost Broly. The 45k stat line is crazy, but now with this card and God Kamehameha, you can really, really push it. Not to mention that if you do get to 3 energy and you're not awakened yet, this is an excellent card just to play, poke, and then, you know, you get to go down to 4 life if you're playing a non-Godku deck from the set. Flip over to Awaken, he goes up to 25, and then, you know, he's able to be, like, you're Awakened now for the follow-up plays with your leader. This is just a very, very good card, and I think it's just going to become a staple. It's going to become a very huge staple in a lot of decks. Beerus is going to have a ball with this card. Being able to go down to 4 and minus something like 15k and then flip over, and then as soon as the attack is over, you can then minus it 10 more. Destroying 25ks for free is insane. This card and 4-drop Gohan will be some of Beerus's bread and butter cards, and I am all the way here for it. So this card is very, very good. Searchable by the Assemble Universe 7. Very, very good stat line. The fact that it's 25k on your turn is going to help with the pressure. I just don't have a gajillion other things to say about this card. This is a solid red card, which just falls into the you know, the headspace of red just being solid in general. Very, very good card. Next, we have another Gohan. You know, Goheezy fans eating good. This is a 5-cost, 30,000 power, 10k combo value card. Permanent, all of your battle cards at the cost of 3 cannot be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills, and then end of turn, choose 1. Play up to 1 battle card at the cost of 3 or less from your hand, or choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards at the cost of 3 or less and KO it. So, this is a very interesting card. One, because its protection effect and the first half of its end of turn effect don't really benefit green as green is currently played. Green plays a lot of setup cards and then a lot of big bombs, and this doesn't help big bombs in any way, shape, or form. However, we've seen the Trunks SR that ramps. We've seen the Trunks blocker, which gets worse and worse by the day with all the tapping effects, minus effects, and bouncing effects from the other colors. So I'm not even going to really put that into conversation unless we have sideboards and we can side into green. But I think that this card is interesting because it enforces more of a low B strategy with Gohan being a top end. And you can still ramp and still put out your cards like Broly, potentially sell your androids. But this really has a interesting space. I need to see more of the like spoilers, because I don't think we're done with the entire set. We probably still have some commons, some rares, some uncommons, but I need to see more of what green can shift into, because right now I don't see this card having a place in the meta. Yeah, you can play out Trunks and Trunks ramps, but realistically, once you're at the point where you can play this card, I would rather be playing other cards for the most part. Putting on extra body from hand and then, you know, getting that, like the Trunks can be cool. You can play this on 5, get your 30k swing in, and then play Trunks. But now you're already kind of tight on deck space, and you're playing a combo that's 2 when Turles would have just flipped from or taken from your trash. 5Q would have just taken from the top of your deck. They don't require any other cards to ramp on 5, and they have slightly worse stat lines, whether it's the combo value, whether it's the attack power, whether it's anything, but they don't require other cards to be in your hand to actually work effectively. Now granted, against yellow, blue, and green, or sorry, yellow, blue, and red, this guy has an effect that really does help. End of turn, just blow up something. So especially if we get best of 1 pre-side, we could be looking at a format where you're able to side this guy in for protection against those matchups. Being a 10k and being able to take apart their board passively, very, very good effect. So let's move on to the next. You've got this SR Goku. Oh my gosh, where do we start? 4 cost, 25k, 1,000 or 10,000 combo value. Very strong for no reason. On play, when attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, and it can't switch it to active mode during your opponent's next turn. So just by playing him, something doesn't get to untap. Swinging, attacking for 25k at your opponent's leader, you choose another thing. Your opponent could literally have just gone in, and you can be like, yeah, okay, play this, that guy's not moving, attack for 25k, that guy's not moving, and you're gonna wanna actually do something about this, because frankly, you could play another card and attack, and if this card's defended, you have to worry about potentially a golden Frieza coming down the following turn. And then your opponent, you can tap down 2 things again. You could attack on something that's already tapped, and then, you know, okay, attack with this, that guy can't untap, attack with this, that guy can untap. Or you can play another one of these guys and tap down the new card that was played, and then attack with both of them, and then you tap down 2 more things. This card is never dead. It's got a good stat line, fairly decent to play, 10k combo value, and its effect being on play and when attacking is just insane. I think that this card is one of the best cards printed in this set, and it's just going to do some crazy, crazy things for yellow. And now, real quick, before we get on to the main attractions, let's talk about our sponsors for just a quick moment so you guys know the deal. So when it comes to my sponsors, we have first up got Mystic TCG. It's based in Missouri. They hold all the cool card games. They hold events. He is always on the ground. He buys collections, he sells cards, he buys singles. Eden really does it all. So you can go down in the description and use the code UniXTCG to get discounts off of your order. Go on the site, the link is there as well. Pre-order, buy product, there's all sorts of things you can do. Past that, if you want to go up to Canada, or if you already live in Canada, you can go to G3 site. The link is also in the description with the code to get discounts off. And yeah, they are your Canadian store for events, for like pre-orders, for all of these things. And between these 2 stores, you really do have a suite, no matter where you are in North America or Canada, to get your TCG fix. So with that, let's head back and spoil the secret. So we're finally at it. This really did not surprise me. I already said in my prediction videos that this would be a Sword of Hope Trunks, potentially a Fuse the Masu, or a Vegito. And the moment we start seeing Vegito cards and then Vegito SR, I was like, yeah. And even if you've been on Twitter, like the Japanese Twitter, the cover for the promo pack 2 is Vegito. Yeah, usually fusions aren't really passed over. When a fusion is heavily introduced into a set, you can generally guess the secret rare is going to follow, because fusions sell bank. And here we are. We got 5 cost blue Vegito, 30k power, 5k combo power. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that cost a 5 or less and return it to the owner's hand. Activate main once per turn. If you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, switch this card to active mode. So there's a couple things here. A lot of people have been online complaining about this card, and I agree and disagree. It is not what we wanted. Granted, no secret rare in this game was more than a 2 of so far. Gohan, 1 of, maybe 2 of, sometimes 0. SCR Goku, 1 of, sometimes 2 of, sometimes 0. Like, legitimately, the SCRs in this game haven't been game breaking. They've been good momentum cards. They've been situationally snapped, but they've never been broken. And I feel like this card's the same way. Now, this is the thing. I wanted two things from blue this set to make me really happy, and that is a solid, beefy card that can put damage and pressure on the board by itself, and I wanted a card that bottom decks anything. And we've seen one of those in this card, not one of those in another. And a lot of people are like, well, Goku Black is better than this. I don't quite agree. Goku Black comes out a turn later. Goku Black needs also 7 cards in hand to do these things. Goku Black is also a 40, and Goku Black recycles a card, which you guys should know by now. When you play blue, blue has a lot of good cards that pump, recycle, draw, but you have to go out of your way to put good targets in trash for Goku Black sometimes. And I like the fact this card is just a 2-time swinger of 30k. But the other part I like about this is Yall in play, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that cost a 5 or less. That gets rid of most of the format, unless you're playing against green, and hint hint, wink wink, nudge nudge. Yellow and red are nuts this set. I would not be surprised if green goes down drastically in playability because of how strong the other colors are getting. But this card is able to bottom deck SR Goku, Beerus. It's able to bottom deck anything that red got this set. It's able to bottom deck Golden Frieza, Cooler, like 4-cost 40k Frieza. And then we've already seen there's a card that blankets your opponent's cost, the SR Vegito. So if you have that on board, this guy even gets rid of Golden Frieza. And on top of that, I think something that people need to understand is that Golden Frieza's effect of bringing this guy into play tapped, because he has an activate main once per turn, you can still untap this guy and attack with it. As long as you have 7 cards or less in your hand. You can literally be like, okay, well, I'm going to play this guy and I'm going to bounce Frieza because I have the 2-cost on board, or the 3-cost Vegito on board that's going to lower cost. After bouncing Frieza, I am now going to swing with my leader, and I'm going to drop cards to go down to 7 cards in hand. And I'm going to untap this guy and attack again. That is actually really, really funny. I think a lot of people are not giving this card the credit it deserves. It is not game breaking, but I think this card is actually going to be fine, and a lot of people are not going to like it. Being able to bottom deck, being able to, for you to be like 5 drops, attack, me combo out of it, and then play my 5 drop, bottom deck your 5 drop, and have 2 swings, that's not going to be fun for anybody. A lot of people are not paying this card enough due, and I can't wait to dive into it once we have full set 2 spoilers. Next, we are going to talk about like this card. It's searchable. It's Potara. It's a Potara Sand. It is searchable. Searchable, secret rare, does work, can do more work with enablers on board. Yeah, nah, this card is going to actually bang. And then moving on to the last card that just got spoiled this morning, we are looking at Golden Frieza. It is a 6-cost 40k permanent. Your opponent's battle cards that cost 5 or more played in rest mode. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards and KO it. So this is a crazy card. When it comes in, it is almost looking at anything on the board and destroying it. This is the Broly of yellow in that sense. As long as rested, it's being KO'd. Also, it provides a little protection. As long as this guy is here, he's pretty much immune. As long as he is not rested, another Golden Frieza will not destroy him, so you have to be a little careful in yellow. But if you're playing for normal Frieza, you can untap this bad boy anyway. So, legitimately, he's destroying a lot of things outside the yellow matchup. Broly's have to be careful because they can only swing once, but that was already the thing with Golden Frieza. But the most important thing about this to me is that 1, it is also searchable by Zarbon off your top 5. But 2, it is also Frieza's army, allowing you to do so many things. You can have this guy on board, and he counts. He's a huge rock. He's hard to get rid of, but you can use him with your Ginyu plays. There's a lot that Yellow's going to be doing next set, and I think that something that's even cooler about this is that when it comes to this is going to be a monumental piece in the green matchup, because if you guys are green and like you have played a lot of matchups, you've mirror matches, you've read my article and things like, you know that green has a mirror match problem where once you get to a certain point, it checks your board how many cards you have before your Broly lands, and then you guys end up trading Brolys. And if both of you guys have empty boards and start playing Brolys, you are really struggling for dominance until somebody runs out of Brolys or you run out of life. This card is going to allow yellow to play the same game. Broly, first and foremost, will not be able to attack twice with this card in the game, because whether it's Golden Frieza or this Golden Frieza just straight up blowing it up, whether it's sticking in tapped or blowing up, or the Goku, that's the insane part. Between the Goku SR we just saw, Golden Frieza from the starter deck and this card, Broly cannot swing twice in fear of it getting destroyed. And even now, you have the opportunity to go 1-drop Frieza, Golden Frieza on 6, 1-drop Frieza, normal Goku on 5, or Goku SR on 5, or if you're on 7 energy because the game's gone low, 1-drop Frieza into this Frieza to straight up remove it. And then when they play their Broly with this guy on board, it comes into play tapped and blows up this Frieza. But then because it comes into play tapped, you have the opportunity to play another 6-cost Frieza and blow it off the field. This is the economy now. Yellow will now have an in-game that rivals Green's in-game, especially if Green has a misstep, or if Yellow is able to play this card before Broly hits the board. It's as simple as that. Yellow is now in a place where its in-game is some of the strongest in the game. However, it has never been weaker to Red. Red has so many cards that gets rid of this, that gets rid of like combinations, gets rid of this, gets rid of other things. Yellow is very strong, red is very strong, but soon we will be able to talk about these cards and the winners and the losers of set 2. We're going to jump on that, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We got some really important spoilers, and I think next week we're going to start seeing the cards that bring up the rear. Before we start, I want to, before we finish, I want to just let you guys know about the people on Patreon that are doing the absolute most. We have a lot of people just supporting the brand, and I could not be any happier. I am so grateful for all of you. So looking at this real quick, I do want to just let you guys know, the current people that are giving the absolute oomph to the channel. And those people are currently, we have got we got the Realm of Exorcists, the highest tier. We got the Big Daddy Flapjacks, the Breer R's, the Braith R, the Mike Tyson, the Bryce R's, the Kevin I's, the Mr. Top Decks. Those are the Realm of Exorcists. You guys give the absolute most, and I appreciate it so much. It helps this channel so much, this brand so much. But then we've also got the Universal Aristocrats, and that is the Eric R's, the Exilions, the Jonathan B's, the Mario V's. I thank all of you guys for your support. We're going to have the splash pages back up this week. I'm going to have a little time in the mornings to get content done, do some other stuff. I got to prioritize the Patreon article for Red because this weekend was just so clogged up I didn't get to put my finishing touches on it. But thank you guys so much for getting in here, for helping me, for watching these videos. The support is necessary. The support is wanted. And later tonight, I should be streaming Dragon Ball Super Fusion World around 5, 6, and I should be streaming Kingdom Hearts about 9 o'clock. So thank you guys. I will see you guys in the next video.